Have you ever noticed how many people stay in situations that are making them miserable because they feel safe? A job they dread, a career that drains them, a routine that leaves them exhausted, but they stay because it feels secure. And if that's you, I want to offer a perspective that may completely change the way you think about your future. Security can become a cage when it stops being chosen and starts being the only option. That's what we're talking about today. We're talking about why security is not the same as safety. And if you've ever felt trapped between wanting something different and being terrified to leave what feels familiar, this conversation is for you. Hi, I'm Catherine, a coach and business strategist, helping women who are overwhelmed, burnt out, or simply want something different to start an online business with the skills and expertise you already have. Before we jump in, tell me in the comments, have you ever stayed in a job longer than you wanted because it felt safer than leaving? I love to hear your experience because, being honest, I have too, but I like to hear your experience. And if you know another woman who feels stuck between security and freedom, share this video with her. She may need this message today. Many of us were taught that the safest thing we could do was get a good job. Work hard, stay loyal, climb the ladder, keep your head down, and for years that formula worked. But the world has changed. Companies restructure, departments disappear, layoffs happen all the time. Industries evolve, technology changes everything. You may still believe my job keeps me safe. The question I want you to consider is this: does it actually keep you safe? Or does it simply keep you familiar? Because there is a difference. Familiarity often feels like safety, but they're not the same thing. You can be deeply uncomfortable, stressed, burnt out, and unhappy while still feeling reluctant to leave because your brain has learned that familiar equals safe. And here's where this gets interesting. The thing many women call security may actually be creating a different kind of risk that they haven't considered. Let's talk about that. One of the biggest reasons women struggle to imagine something beyond their job isn't about money, it's about identity. For years, you've answered the question, what do you do? With your title, your profession, your company, your role. And after enough years, those things become intertwined with who you believe you are. So when you start thinking about building something outside of your job, a business such as a coaching practice, a consulting service, a digital product, a new path, it can feel threatening. Not because you're incapable, but because you're challenging an identity you've carried for years. Many women think they're afraid of losing income. Sometimes they actually afraid of losing certainty about who they are. And that's a very different conversation because income can be replaced. Identity can be expanded, but only if you're willing to see yourself as more than your title. You are more than your position, more than your employer, more than your resume. Your skills, experiences, wisdom, life lessons have value beyond the walls of any company. But there's another layer that nobody talks about. Sometimes what feels like stability is actually emotional captivity. And that realization changed everything for me. Now, let me be clear. There's nothing wrong with having a job, and I am not advocating that you up and quit your job tomorrow. That is not it. There's nothing wrong with loving your career. This isn't about convincing anyone to quit, as I stated. This is about awareness. Because sometimes people stay because they genuinely love what they're doing. And sometimes people stay because they're afraid. Those are very different reasons. When fear becomes a primary reason you're staying, something important happens. Your choices begin to shrink. You stop exploring possibilities. You stop imagining alternatives. You stop believing you have options. And eventually, your world gets smaller. And you become emotionally dependent on one source of income, one employer, one outcome, one path. That's not stability. Because anytime your entire future depends on one thing remaining unchanged, you've placed a tremendous amount of power outside yourself. True safety comes from having options. True safety comes from adaptability. True safety comes from knowing you can create opportunities, not just receive them. Now, if you're thinking, but Catherine, why is it so hard to step outside what's familiar? That answer may have less to do with your circumstances and more to do with how your nervous system works. Let's talk about that. One of the most important things I've learned is that our nervous system often prefers familiar discomfort over unfamiliar possibility. Think about that. Familiar discomfort, you know the stress, you know the politics, you know the frustration, you know the routine, you know the disappointment. And because you know it, your brain labels it as manageable, predictable, safe. Meanwhile, something new feels uncertain, and uncertainty triggers discomfort. So your nervous system starts sending signals: stay where you are, don't risk it. What if it doesn't work? But here's the truth: discomfort is not danger. And uncertainty is not proof that something is wrong. Sometimes uncertainty is simply evidence that you're growing. The goal isn't to eliminate fear. The goal is to learn how to move with fear instead of letting fear make every decision. And this is where many women make a critical mistake. They think the only alternative is quit everything and take a huge leap. But that's not what I'm suggesting at all. For some reason, we've been conditioned to think there are only two options: stay exactly where you are or quit everything tomorrow. But there is an entire spectrum between those extremes. You can start exploring your skills. You can test ideas. You can build something on the side. You can learn new ways to create income. You can discover whether your expertise could help someone else. You can begin before you're ready. And you can do it while maintaining the income that currently supports your life. This is one of the biggest mindset shifts I want women to embrace. Building something on your own does not have to be reckless. It can be thoughtful, strategic, intentional. You don't have to jump off of a cliff. You can build a bridge. And every step you take creates more options, more confidence, more resilience, more freedom. And there's one thing I hope you take away from today's video. It's this: security and safety are not the same thing. Security is often external. Safety is internal. Security can disappear. Safety comes from knowing you can adapt, learn, grow, and create opportunities for yourself. The goal isn't to abandon your job. The goal is to stop believing your job is your only option. Because the moment you realize you have options, everything begins to change. And if you're wondering what skills, experiences, strengths, or life lessons you already have that could become the foundation for something of your own, I created a free guide for you. It's called Tap into Your Zone of Genius and Monetize It. It will help you look at your skills and your experience and see what could possibly be a good business fit for you. There is an amazing prop inside of it that will help you with that. So I hope that you would grab your free guide. The link is in the description below. And if you would like to even go deeper and chat with me, the link to book a call is also there. And before you go, tell me in the comments, what is one area of your life where you have mistaken familiarity for safety? I love to hear your thoughts. If this video resonated with you, do like, subscribe, and share it with another woman who needs this message. Because sometimes one new perspective is all it takes to open a door someone didn't know existed. So I thank you for stopping by to watch this video, and I do hope to see you in the next video.